Hello students, I welcome you all to my video, okay, which is in a sense we can say based on what grammar translation method. So there are different methods of teaching English. Among the different methods of teaching English, we can say grammar translation method is one of the best. So here in this video we are going to discuss different points regarding grammar translation method. The points we are going to discuss are: number one, grammar translation method; number two, objectives; number three, advantages; and the last one is disadvantages. So before starting the video, I would like to request everyone to be very attentive. So let's start the video. So at the very outset, let us discuss grammar translation method. So in this slide, I have already mentioned certain points. The points I have mentioned on the slide, just have a look. What are the points? Number one, derived from the classical method of teaching ancient Greek and Latin. Number two, students are expected to learn grammatical rules. Okay. Number three, translating sentences between the target language and the native language. Okay. Next one, word for word translation, and the last one is known to unknown. So let us discuss one by one. What is the first point? Derived from the classical method of teaching ancient Greek and Latin. So what does this point say? We can say grammar translation method derived from a classical method of teaching. Okay, what? Ancient Greek and Latin. So in ancient time, in a sense, we can say the teachers, they used to adopt a particular method to teach their students or disciples what language? Greek and Latin language. Okay, what method was that? That method was none other than what? Grammar translation method. So from that particular point of view, we can say grammar translation method derived from the classical method of teaching ancient Greek and Latin. Okay, this is all about the first point. What is the second point? Students are expected to learn grammatical rules. So in this method, okay, students are expected to learn grammatical rules. Certain grammatical rules are taught to the students, okay, through grammar translation method. In a sense, we can say what is the focus point in grammar translation method? What? To teach grammar. Is that okay? So this is all about the second point. What is the third one? Translating sentences between the target language and the native language. So of course this method is related to translation. So what are the two languages basically involved in this method? First one is the mother tongue, okay, native language, and the third one is the target language. Target language refers to what? English. So from that particular point of view, we can say here sentences are translated, okay, word by word in this method. That's why we have this particular point. What is the point? Translating sentences between the target language, that is English, and the native language, that is mother tongue. Okay, what two languages are involved in grammar translation method? One, okay, the mother tongue, and the second one is target language, means English. Okay, so what is the next point? Word for word translation. So here we can say the unit of grammar translation method is word. In this method, okay, each and every word is translated from the mother tongue to the target language, that means English. That is why we have this particular point. What is the point? Word for word translation. Is that okay? Now what is the last point? Known to unknown. So we have different teaching maxims, isn't it? So among the teaching maxims, we have this particular teaching maxim. What is the teaching maxim here? Known to unknown. So how can we prove that this is a method of known to unknown? Because we can say mother tongue is known to everyone, isn't it? So the target of the teacher is to make the student learn what? English, isn't it? And at the very outset, initially, mother tongue is known to the student. Okay, at the very outset or initially, we can say the English language is not known to the student. So what is the known factor? The known factor is the mother tongue. And what is the unknown factor for the student? The unknown factor is the English language. So that is why we can say it is a journey from known to unknown, from mother tongue to what? the target language English. That is why we can say, okay, it is a very prominent point. What is the point? Known to unknown. So we have different points, okay, regarding grammar translation method. So you'll have to concentrate on these points very clear-headedly. So let's go to the next slide. So in this slide, we are going to discuss the objectives of grammar translation method. Okay, what are the objectives? Just have a look. Number one, to develop reading ability. Okay. Number two, to develop writing ability. And what is the third one? To develop general mental discipline of the students. So what is the first point? Let us discuss. To develop reading ability. Okay, through grammar translation method, the teacher will have to develop reading ability among the students. That means which skill is being focused here? Reading skill. Okay, now what is the second point? To develop writing ability. Apart from reading skill, okay, the teacher will have to focus on the writing ability of the students. So student too. This is all about the second objective. What is the second objective? To develop writing ability among the students. Okay, what is the third objective? To develop general mental discipline of the students. So this is in a sense we can say sort of mental exercise. Okay, throughout grammar translation method, students are given opportunity to work on mental exercise. So that means they will get what? An opportunity, a platform to work out mentally. Getting the point? So that's why from that particular point of view, we can say what is the objective? Another objective of the third objective of grammar translation method, to develop general mental discipline of the students. Okay, so this is all about the objectives of grammar translation method. Now we will discuss different advantages. Okay, what are the advantages or the merits of what? Grammar translation method. Just have a look. Number one, it is less expensive. Number two, it is less time consuming. Number three, it helps in building vocabulary. Okay, what is the next one? It saves teachers labor. Okay, what is the next one? Comprehension is easily tested. Okay, next one, grammar is easily taught. And what is the last one? Accuracy. So let us discuss one by one. What is the first point? It is less expensive. Now the question is why we can consider grammar translation method as a less expensive method. Let me explain. Now while teaching the students, the teacher, in a sense we can say, will have to use different aids, isn't it, to make the students understand. But here the teacher need not use any aids, teaching aids to teach his or her students. Why? Because they will have to what? Translate only. So they need not have any what? They need not have any source of TLM. Okay, getting the point? That's why from that particular point of view we can say it becomes less expensive. Now what is the second point? Less time consuming. So why it is less time consuming? Because the teacher is already going to translate all these things, the content, okay, from the English language to the native language. Getting the point? So from that particular point of view, automatically the students understand. So it becomes less time consuming. So it is one of the advantages of what? Grammar translation method. Now what is the third advantage? It helps in building vocabulary. Now if a teacher is going to translate a particular text, okay, word by word, then definitely the student will get an opportunity to work on his or her knowledge of vocabulary, isn't it? So from that point of view we can say it helps in building vocabulary. Okay, what is the next point? It saves teachers labor. So here we can say teachers don't have to pay attention on the technical aspects, or they don't have to pay attention on the use of TLMs. Getting the point? So merely they will have to translate word by word. So from that point of view we can say it saves teachers labor. So this is one of the advantages of grammar translation method. Okay, now what is the next point? Comprehension is easily tested. As each and every word is going to be translated in grammar translation method, so it is obvious that the students are going to understand each and everything very clearly. Okay, their comprehension can be tested easily. So this is one of the advantages of grammar translation method. What is the advantages? Comprehension is easily tested. Okay, now what is the next one? Grammar is easily taught. So I have already mentioned that the focus point, okay, in grammar translation method is the grammatical rules, isn't it? So from that particular point of view, if a teacher is going to use translation, okay, while teaching the students the second language, definitely the grammatical rules will be automatically, okay, naturally will be understood by the students. So grammar can be easily taught under grammar translation method. So this is one of the advantages of what? Grammar translation method. Now what is the last one? Accuracy. As the students are easily able to understand each and every word, each and every sentence, because each and every word and sentences are translated from the target language to a mother tongue. From that particular point of view, we can say it becomes accurate for them. So accuracy is also one of the advantages of grammar translation method. Okay, so this is all about the advantages of what? Grammar translation method. Now we will discuss different disadvantages. Okay, what are the disadvantages of grammar translation method? Just have a look. Number one, unnatural method. Number two, it neglects speech. Okay, what is the next one? It ignores habit formation. What is next? Exact translation is not possible. Okay, what is the next one? It makes the student a passive learner. Okay, what is the next one? It is uninteresting. And lastly, main focus is on mother tongue. So let us discuss one by one. So it is said that grammar translation method is an unnatural method. So how can we say that this method is unnatural? So before going to answer, we'll have to ask ourselves, what is the natural method of teaching language? The natural method of teaching a language, in a sense we can say the order we'll have to concentrate on. What is the order? Listening, speaking, reading and writing. So let's have the example of our mother tongue. Okay, the baby at the very outset listens to different words, isn't it? After that it starts speaking. So this is a natural way. But in grammar translation method, at first what comes? Okay, listening doesn't come at first. What comes first? Reading comes first. So this is not, in a sense we can say, natural method. It is an unnatural method. So this is one of the disadvantages of what? Grammar translation method. So what is the next one? It neglects speech. So grammar translation method concentrates on reading and writing. It neglects what? Speaking and listening. So from that particular point of view, we can say this is one of the disadvantages of grammar translation method. What is the disadvantage? Grammar translation method neglects what? Speech. Okay, now it is the next one. It ignores habit formation. So we already know that habit formation is a principle, isn't it? Principle of teaching what? English, second language. Now while teaching the students what? The second language, English, the teacher is concentrating on the mother tongue. Getting the point? So while the teacher is concentrating on the mother tongue, so students will have to concentrate on the mother tongue only. They will not get any scope or platform to work on the target language, English. Getting the point? So automatically what will happen? They are deprived of habit formation regarding the English language. So from that particular point of view, we can say it ignores habit formation. What is the next one? Exact translation is not possible. So while translating word by word, we will have to admit this fact that exact translation is a myth. Getting the point? So we cannot translate everything, okay, in a sense we can say purely from the target language to our mother tongue. So in a sense we can say it loses what? The taste, the origin, taste of the the target language. So from that particular point of view, we can say exact translation is not possible, and it is one of the disadvantages of what? Grammar translation method. Okay, now there is the next one. It makes the student a passive learner. So this method does not consider the student an active learner. Okay, who plays an active role? The teacher plays an active role. Okay, who is in the center point? The teacher is in the center point. There is why this method has a disadvantage. What is the disadvantage? It makes the student a passive learner. Is that okay? So this is one of the disadvantages of grammar translation method. Okay, what is the next one? It is uninteresting. So while translating a sentence, or while translating a paragraph, okay, while translating the words, okay, getting the point from the English language to the mother tongue, it becomes quite boring for the students, because the teacher, they do not use any sorts of audiovisual aids. They do not use any sorts of TLM in grammar translation method. They merely translate. Okay, so in this way, what happens, we can say it becomes uninteresting. It becomes very monotonous for the student. So this is one of the disadvantages of what grammar translation method. Now, what is the next, the last disadvantage of grammar translation method? Main focus is on mother tongue. So it is obvious, while a teacher is going to translate, okay, only focus is on the mother tongue. Okay, so here we can say the focus on the target language, it is automatically neglected. So what is the objective? The objective of teaching English, the objective of teaching English to enable the students to speak, listen, read, write, etc. So now, if the teacher is only going to focus on the mother tongue, then do you think the objective is fulfilled? No, it is not. That is why, from that particular point of view, we can say main focus is on mother tongue, okay, in grammar translation method, and as a result, what happened? The target language is neglected. Okay, so these are all about the disadvantages of grammar translation method. Okay, so I hope you understood. Thank you. Keep learning.